Team Olympus was a story that I was making where it took the Greek gods and basically humanized them. Not that they weren't humanized anyway, if you ever read the stories about them and stuff like that. They were supposed to be tied into the same universe as Legacy Space. Same thing, pretty much, with the exception of whereas Legacy Space, they were scientists that wanted to leave because they wanted to get away from all the stuff happening, basically the end of the world. They wanted to try to flee. And Team Olympus was supposed to be a bunch of soldiers sent out to basically live in like a space station. The space station that we have that's orbiting the Earth. Apocalypse happens, the end of the world, but because they weren't on the planet, they end up going back in time. So I thought it was really cool that you have these people with these technologies but still human frailties being seen as gods and basically crash, when they crash onto the planet, a la like Planet of the Apes. Crash landing on the planet, and they find out the people are worshiping him and stuff like that. I had everything planned for it. I had read my Greek mythology and basically interpreted as modern day stuff. Like Kronos, for instance, was supposed to be an acronym for basically a cloning facility. And the whole thing about Kronos was supposed to be the god of the gods. And, Zeus defeated Kronos. He was swallowing babies and stuff like that. Is the backstory of the comic that I was going to make. I actually had it where Kronos was, like I said, an acronym for a cloning facility where they were actually making super soldiers. And Zeus, in turn, he had a different name, but him and somebody, a bunch of other people basically stormed the clinic and basically destroyed Kronos, basically releasing all the embryos that they had that they were using, thus the swallowing babies type of thing, using to make soldiers. That was the setup story that led to them being a space station, basically still being used by the government to be like a super soldiers. Crash lands on Earth, ends up being back in the time of the gods and stuff like that. They are frail, they are human. I had it where Medusa was one who studies animals, and she ends up trying to find a way to de-age herself, so she ends up using a serum and makes herself part snake, a la Medusa. Hades is someone who disagrees, and he thinks that people should be worshiping them, that they came there for a reason. I had all sorts of little stories for it, and it's supposed to coincide with what happened with the gods, and all of a sudden them just deciding to let things go. So that was my story of Team Olympus.